Hello and welcome. If you're new to me, then allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mindy. I'm a spiritual transformation teacher. I am an ascension teacher through spiritual modalities such as the Akashic Records and others, including what we're going to go over today, which is the I Ching. This is something that I found in the early 2000s. So I've been researching it and utilizing it as a divination system since I found it. And I'm realizing that human design, which is a brand new, up and coming, well, it's not brand new, but it seems to be really hitting the spiritual online space like a freight train. And it's based upon the I Ching. And it's something that I've already utilized, I already know inside and out, not to the point of memorizing, which some people are trying to memorize the gates of human design, which are the little numbers inside the energy centers. I'm going to talk a little bit about human design because it is kind of the inspiration of making this video, but I want this video to mainly be a background all about the Chinese ancient origins that the human design system was really built upon, which is, of course, the I Ching. I have a couple different reading materials here that I will be emphasizing. This is the I Ching, it means the book of changes. I also have the Tao Te Ching. Now this is a Stephen Mitchell version. This is the book of the way, or the book of the great path, the path that nature takes. So this would be sort of the Bible, or this would be sort of the New Testament, or the Book of Mormon, or the other things that have stemmed from this ancient source here. These are the writings of Lao Tzu, which is actually so ancient that there's actually a lot of arguments online of whether Confucius and Lao Tzu are actually the same person. So very interesting texts. One of them that really hit home for me is, the more you know, the less you understand. So another concept would be darkness equals clarity. It's like this really deep concept that the more that we try to analyze and try to know more than our counterparts or have the ego mind kind of take charge, the less we're going to be at one with the path or the Tao. And that is the inspiration for my tattoo there that I got when I was just 16 years old. So this is something that really means a lot to me, and I'm actually extremely happy that human design utilizes the I Ching, because the more people who can find this modality, who can research these ancient origins, the more ascension we can find on this planet, and the more transformation that we're all going to find within our own bodies. So what I teach is really based upon peak potential, peak manifestation energy, core essence, and understanding who we are as people, and really honing in on our strengths and our weaknesses as well, because aren't they kind of the same thing? And that's sort of the overall teaching of Lao Tzu. And the very first sentence that I always love in this book, it says, "The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name." So it's like everything and nothing all at the same time. Something tangible only because it creates great change within us in a spiritual way, but intangible because we cannot grasp it, we cannot hold it, we cannot explain it, right? So even in these ancient times, they understood that we would never be able to explain and fully grasp the concept of the eternal Tao, which has now become the Akashic Records, astral realm, astral plane, 5D, Christ consciousness. There's all sorts of different semantics and different definitions of what this means. But in the ancient Chinese text, it is Tao. And yes, it is spelled T-A-O, pronounced Tao Te Ching. So it's be like an X and a J rather than the CH, Tao Te Ching. And this is the Steve Mitchell translation, which is my favorite. I've actually purchased several different translations of the Tao Te Ching, and Stephen Mitchell absolutely did it best. So I wanted to pay homage to that because, again, this is sort of the forefather of the I Ching, which is the forefather of human design. So if you're searching into human design landing on this video, it could be because you're meant to find this modality. So let's go ahead and dive in. Again, this is the book that I will be referencing. It is by Brian Brown Walker. And what I'm going to do is show you guys a demonstration of how the I Ching was originally destined to be used. So this is actually a divination system. So it's more like pulling cards than it is a system that is attached to your energy centers, as Ra Uru Hu has created it to be, which again, I can't emphasize enough how much I appreciate what Ra Uru Hu has done with I Ching system and associated it with Western astrology and placed the planets and, you know, Chiron and all these different celestial bodies to the energy system of the Tao Te Ching, or I'm sorry, the I Ching. The I Ching is where we get the circular pattern. It's where we get to see the hexagrams used all together. We have a yin and yang there, and also each of the hexagrams has an element of fire, water, earth, and air. So that's how the astrology came to be and how Ra Uru Hu was able to establish where those signs or those elements or those planets are associated. So without further ado, let's go ahead into our demonstration of the I Ching. So what we're going to need is a notebook. I'm going to use my whiteboard here, and 3 coins. It doesn't matter what coins you use. The higher the vibration, of course, the higher the ascension that can happen. So I usually have gold coins that I use for this, gold dollars, but I can't find them right now, so quarters it is. Okay, what we're going to do is roll them just like dice, and it doesn't matter where they fall. And then you're going to add the values of your coins. So heads is going to be the number 3. Tails will be the number 2, always. Okay, so I got 2 heads and 1 tail, so that's going to add up to 8. And we want to work from the bottom up, so make sure that you put your first number at the bottom of the page. And we're going to go ahead and roll 6 times. And now I have all heads, so that's going to be 9. And we have all heads again, 9 again. And another 9. And of course, just do this in your own time. You can skip ahead if you'd like. And now we have 2 heads, 1 tail, another 8. Beautiful. Now that we've made it to this step, we're going to associate the lines with our numbers. So every number that is odd is going to get a solid line. And every number that is even is a broken line. So we have an even number here, a whole bunch of solid lines. Hopefully they are straight. And I need one more line. Which is a 7. So I'm running out of room here. And it will be a solid line. Okay. Now we have our 2 trigrams. Again, yours can be a little well put together. On the whiteboard, it's a little tricky. So now what we do is consult a little chart that looks just like this. You can Google this, it's really easy to find. I Ching hexagram chart will probably do it. So we're going to find ours here. You can see the elements. We have like heaven and wind, thunder. So that's where you get the elements of air, fire, water, earth, etc. So what we have here on the bottom, 2 solids and a broken, which is sun / wind. And on the top, we have the word Li, L-I, and fire. Okay, now we result to the graph again, and we match them together. So there's my top line of fire, my bottom line of wind and sun, and together they give us the number 50. So now your message for the day is hexagram number 50, which gives us a passage to read. Or if you're in the human design world, it would be gate number 50. Now is where it gets a little fun. Like in the tarot cards, how we have an upright and a reversal meaning, the I Ching is very much that same way. And it always starts with that reversal or the negative energy. To me, anyway, it seems that it wants to call us out and then be gentle to ease us into the energy of the positive meaning. So here it says, you serve as an example to others by sacrificing your ego and accepting the guidance of the higher power. So again, you're influential, but you have to manage your ego, accept the guidance of the higher power, and good things will come. So that's the overall message here of number 50, which is called the Cauldron. Okay, this is about containing, it's about having continual nourishment, right? That container of the cauldron, and asking for assistance when needed. Again, influencing others, having humility and acceptance. And that's the overall message of the passage. I could read it all for you, but it is a little bit long. And then we're going to turn the page here and we see there's actually a passage for each and every line. And this gets really cool with human design, and I'll go over that in just a second. So then we read the passage for the very first line and then stop, not the passage for the rest of the lines. And it says here, turn the cauldron of yourself upside down and pour out whatever is inferior. By purifying yourself of bad habits and attitudes now, you make possible outstanding achievements. So somebody out there needs to hear that, and probably me too. Now what we're going to do is go over the changing lines. Yes, there are changing lines. And this is how it was originally used as a divination system. Again, for those who read tarot or oracle cards, this is almost like drawing a clarifier. And it's just a way to go a little bit deeper. So everything that has a value of a 6 or a 9 will change. So I have 2 9s here. And if you have 6s, they would also be changing lines. And all that means is it goes from a solid line to a broken line now. Now we have a whole nother hexagram. That is our changed hexagram here, and it actually changed both the upper and the lower hexagram. Then we're going to read the main passage and the passage for lines 6 and 9. Okay, so in this case, we now have the upper trigram is solid, broken, broken, which is now mountain. So I'll get another color here as for our changing line. We have mountain, and at the bottom we have broken, solid, broken, which is water. So again, you're seeing the elements come through here. Okay, and consulting the chart again here, that gives us the number 4. So in this passage, we would read the main text and then the changing lines. This one is called Youthful Folly. So it really correlates well with the tarot as the Fool card. So they're easy to remember because really when it comes down to a hero's journey and it comes down to, you know, these archetypes of processes that we go through, this is really coincidental when it comes to things like the medicine wheel of Native America, where you have water, earth, air, and fire. And it's sort of this process that we go through as a ceremony or as a healing process. And then in the tarot, we go from, you know, the Fool all the way to the Emperor, all the way through the elements, all the way through the numbers. And it's all influential. It all has to do with where you are on your journey, where you are on your Earth's path. So again, it all just really comes full circle, and I love that. Okay, so Youthful Folly, we have quite the text here. But it says, to study the I Ching is to gain the perspective of the deity, to learn the cosmic lesson inherited in every situation that faces us. If we truly look for and strive to comprehend these larger lessons, we gain mastery over fear, doubt, and anxiety. We can learn from study of the I Ching to live in a state of understanding, contentment, and acceptance, but several things are required of us. Okay, so another large passage here, and our changing lines were numbers 3 and 4. So we're going to go ahead and read the third and the fourth line, and that will be our extra reading or our clarifier for the entire message as a whole. This one says, a servile attitude towards the sage. So you'll see a lot of different words to describe the one thing. So there's the sage, the deity. You'll see it is the Tao a little bit in here, but it's really been meant to translate to something that's very easy to understand across all continents. So a servile attitude towards the sage is of no use. The door opens not when we are browbeaten into accepting truth, but when we begin to see its value and seek it on our own. Those who entangle themselves in the fear and fantasies of the ego lose the aid of the sage. Return to detachment and humility prevents misfortune now. And again, I love how the language is very geared towards avoiding misfortune, or almost like, a warning going off, rather than, everything is fine and wonderful and beautiful, just keep going the way you are. It's like, hey, you need to realize this right now, pivot here and move things forward, or else. So in terms of the human design system and utilizing the energy centers, right? Let's see here, which one did we end up with? 4. So we went over today hexagram number 50 and also number 4. So if you have those gates in your human design chart, these will be applying to you. And even if you don't, we still are going to be open to understanding each and every one of the gates in human design, or the hexagrams of the I Ching. You'll find if you use this as a divination system, you'll have many different moments where the same message will pop up for you. Whereas in your human design system, it's consistent energy that stays with you through this whole lifetime. So if you have 50 or 4, those are energies that you will want to work on. Or maybe it's energies that you're here to master and it's part of your soul mission. Maybe it's something for you to be here in order to teach others. And you can also look at the channel of which it's connected to which energy body. So for example, obstacles and abundance are tied together, which I thought was so funny. So having that defined is myself, a big part of my soul mission is to understand how to overcome obstacles when it comes to abundance and to share that story out with the world. So it's very important not to look at the gates in your human design chart and have a dogma about it, or to think, okay, this is the energy now that I need to worry about, and all of the other gates are null and void, because it isn't that way. Just like in Western astrology, we might have a full moon that comes in Pisces. Even if you don't have any Pisces in your chart, you still might have a Pisces full moon that comes forward, and all of a sudden you're really intensely feeling it because you don't have that grounded energy or that defined center or that planetary placement in your chart. So again, understanding all of these concepts as a whole, leaving none out, is going to be very beneficial as you move forward into human design, or just using I Ching as a divination system, which is how it was meant to be used. But I, again, can't stress enough how much I appreciate Lao Tzu for putting this out there into the world, for creating the Rave Mandala, for creating the body graph, and all of that system that goes into human design. Because as you can see in a body graph chart, there are 9 different chakras instead of 7. And the reason for this is because the splenic energy center and the solar plexus energy center are direct images of each other. They are the same energy center but split in half. Same with the head. It's a triangle and they mirror image like this. So he's understood that through evolution and through our adaptability into this new 3D reality, we have more energy to withstand against, or to understand deeper, when it comes to the solar plexus and when it comes to the crown chakra, or the third eye, whichever, whichever is split. So I just thought that was an interesting tidbit to include, because again, this is about adapting. This modality is thousands of years old. down to the fact that historians don't even know who wrote it. If it was Lao Tzu, it was Confucius, where it came from originally, because it's that old and has been translated so many times. But I think that the integrity of this modality is so strong that the more people who find it, the better the transition and the ascension of the entire planet is going to be. I love that astrology is put in it. I love that the Kabbalah is part of it too. And then we also have the energy centers or the chakras that have been sort of adapted to be something new and improved based upon our timeline that we're currently in right now. So I hope this has all come full circle for you. If you're looking to dive deeper into these concepts, I have a couple things that I can help you with. I mentioned that I'm a Akashic Records practitioner. I do sessions for those where we just read your soul contracts. It's a place where your soul records are kept. So we go into a meditative state. You can ask a very specific question, or we can meet your spirit guide, or we can explore past lives. And if you're looking to do this as a profession and quit the 9 to 5 and pursue your soul mission full time, then I would love to help you do that as well. Because I am an online business coach, and my current offer that I just created, I'm actually really excited about. I have taken 3 different passions of mine and made one offer with all 3 of these included. The first being a medicine person certificate. You would be a certified medicine person. This gives you the ability to help other people transcend. It allows you to dive into another person's personal experience and transform with them. Teach them the way to navigate their core essence, to navigate who they are as a person. And the way that I have constructed that course is to give you little tidbits of all sorts of different modalities, from ancient China, from old Celtic, Norse, Icelandic theologies, pagan, Wiccan, and also Native American theologies from all over the Americas. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand when they say Native American theology. We're talking about from the North Pole to the South Pole, or at least to Patagonia, Argentina, all the way to the Yukon, right? All of the Americas. So it's really impossible to super hone in on what Native American theology you're researching. But I want to give you the tidbits of the medicine wheel or of the animal medicine, so you can then go on your own path and you can follow that intuitive nudge to go and expand your knowledge in that way. And then we have the Akashic Records certificate. This has to be one of my absolute favorite things that I have ever done. Because again, we get to bond with your spirit guide. And I have seen so many different things. I have seen ancient pyramids. I have seen fairy lands, crystal castles. The opportunities are seriously boundless. And in Sanskrit, the Akasha translates to boundless, eternal, unnameable, the unexplained, right? So again, it's just a translation for the Tao, the astral plane, the other side camp, the other world. So in that certification course, you're not only certified to give sessions to others, but you're also certified to teach others. And I will teach you how to gain a following, how to show people what you're doing, and how to book out your schedule. To take this concept and create an entirely independent income stream. And then the third certification of this mega mind that I've created is an online marketing course. And this is just the absolute basics of what you need to have a successful business. This is setting up your schedule, optimizing social medias, getting yourself an email list or some way for you to talk to your people, a way for people to find you easily on the online space. This is something we can set up together. I show you it step by step. I show you everything step by step on how you can create this beautiful channel and this way for people to find you that allows you to pursue your soul mission and really see it prosper. to quit the 9 to 5, to get out of the hustle mind, and to get back to basics, get back to this spiritual oneness that is all very important for us as we transcend and ascend as a human race on this planet. It is of utmost importance that we follow this call, that we allow ourselves to pursue this mission. And I want to show you how to do it. So I will post the links up, down, and all over, depending on what platform you're on, so that you can get in on that. This is going to be an evergreen program that is available all the time. It's self-paced, but full participation is intensely important because we don't want to leave your energy centers open. And there will also be an option to have one-on-one support with me, walking you through it step by step to keep you accountable, to have one-on-one calls so that we can move through that space together. So if you're interested in that, of course, the links will be all over the place. You can reach out to me directly. Email sometimes is best. We can jump on a call to talk about the options of working together, collaborating. If you are another spiritual entrepreneur, I have been loving to do some split live streams, podcast interviews, things like that. So if you're looking to collaborate and elaborate and, expand on these concepts of ancient divine origins, this is just something that has really ignited my soul and something that I really love pursuing through high school, through college, and now into my adult business life as well. So I'm so happy to have you all here along for the ride. Please make sure that you like and comment and subscribe just to support this growing channel and to support my community that, of course, is always growing. So I'd love to connect to you further. Please feel free to read the descriptions, the captions. Let me know how this video has resonated with you, if this was helpful, if this simplified the I Ching for you. If you're diving into human design, let me know what it is that you're working on so I can support you as well. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next video.